Welcome to Book Babble. I'm Definitive D, and this is my February wrap-up. Now, the first one up is Preacher, and this one, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I've heard really good things about this one. I was recommended by a lot of people saying, like, this is a graphic novel to check out if you're going to start graphic novels, and I have to disagree. There's a few things in there that were just a little too graphic for me, including a little bit of bestiality. So if that's something that you aren't into, then maybe skip this guy. This is part of a series, and it is a series that I unfortunately will not be continuing on with. So the next one is part of a series that I am continuing on with. It is the New 52's Wonder Woman, Iron. I know a lot of people who have been reading graphic novels. One of the big things that they say, and I would agree with it for the most part, is there's not a lot of female characters that are in the limelight. So I figured that this is as good of a time as any to focus on the ones that they have. So I've been reading a lot of Wonder Woman. I just started reading some Batgirl. I picked up some Harley Quinn with some Power Girl in there. So it's really interesting. This one, I'm really enjoying this series. If you haven't picked up any of the New 52, this one would be something that I would highly recommend you starting with. And around Valentine's, I started reading Titanic Love Stories by Gill. Now, this book deals with the honeymooning couples that were on the ill-fated ship, the RMS Titanic. So it goes through each couple, starting with first class, second class, down to third class, and you find out information about who they were and ultimately what their outcome was. This one is full of really interesting Titanic facts. So if you haven't read any books on Titanic and it's something that you're interested in learning more about, this one is a really great one for you to start with. It's a very interesting collection, something that I would highly recommend for anyone looking for a interesting love story, as well as anyone looking at something a bit historical. So continuing along with the history stream, I jumped into a graphic novel from Vertigo, Royals Master of War. So this is a story set in World War II where members of the royal family have superpowers. Now this one I thought was a really interesting read. The concept was a bit out there and I liked it. I have to say I really enjoyed this one. It was a bit short, but it is something that I would highly recommend reading if you guys are interested in World War II, British monarchy, superheroes. It's a really great meld. And the next one that I picked up was The Song of Spider-Man by Glen Berger. Now this book I found very fascinating. It deals with the trials and tribulations of the Spider-Man musical. Glen Berger was somebody who was intimately involved with the show because he, along with Julie Taymor of Lion King fame, were the ones that wrote Spider-Man the musical. It was a very interesting book to read, especially from someone like myself who has a theater background, because you really understand the process of putting on a musical. Now, is that to say that someone who has no knowledge of musical theater or the theater world wouldn't enjoy this? No. I think you guys would enjoy this regardless of your level of knowledge of musical theater. Now, keep in mind that this is from somebody's perspective that is very close to it. He did say that he did try to keep things as biased as possible, but it's a very interesting read. It's something that I will recommend to anyone who likes superheroes, anyone who has any interest in the musical theater world, and just anyone who wants a good read. I mean, it's a very compelling read. It's a very good insight into the theater world as well. So I highly recommend Song of Spider-Man. If you guys check out one of the books that I've read this month, this is the one. And finally, my last read of February was a graphic novel. It was DC's Batman, The Return of Bruce Wayne. This one I thought was really interesting because it deals with time travel. So you see Batman in different time periods. You see him during the Salem witch hunt. You see him during the Old West. You see him in almost a prehistoric Neanderthal situation, and I think that's phenomenally The art in this one was great. It is a bit dark, and that's one thing that I've really learned between the difference between DC and Marvel Comics. DC is a lot darker, where Marvel, a little more fun. But that still being said, if you are looking for a very interesting, non-traditional Batman story, give this one a go. So this is what I read this month. It's not bad. For next month, I'm hoping to maybe read a few less graphic novels and read a few more novels. There was a couple on my list from last month that I didn't get to. So hopefully that will carry over to this month. As always, from me to you, I hope your day is just tickety-boo.